Hi, and thank you for watching. So in this video, I want to show you how I really helped myself along in pushing the colors for this tree painting. And what you can see that I'm doing here is I'm in the normal photo program and I am just adjusting. I'm playing around with the levels. I feel that in today's day and age where we have these fabulous digital devices and tools and apps, we might as well use them to help us along for painting. And so that is what I'm doing. I'm really just turning the wheels, so to say, trying out different things. And what I'm also doing here for this painting, because I know I get hung up in details early on, which I don't want, I am blurring the whole photo. For this, I am using the Procreate app, but there are plenty of free apps that I can use for that too. And now I've put the blurred photograph into the photo app again, and I'm again playing around with the levels. So I'm probably also looking at some pre-made filters. You know, they have these warm dramatic, cool dramatic options. Now, what's important here to say is that I'm not choosing one that I find particularly pretty. Quite the opposite. I'm going for really gaudy and way over the top colorful, because on my first layer of this painting, I really want to push the colors. So this is the one I'm going with. Compared to the original, which you can see here, that is a really huge difference. And I know that is going to really help me to see the colors that are actually there. Remember, the app doesn't enhance colors it doesn't see, so it just enhances the ones that are there. So this is really schooling my artist eye as well, right? This app just really exaggerated the colors that were there to begin with. So that's not the one I'm using to actually paint from. I am now using that blurred, super hyper ugly, colorful one. And what you see me do here, I am actually painting on a black canvas. This is an assignment from the Milan Art Institute Mastery Program. It's called Optical Color Mixing, where we're painting on a black canvas and we are not mixing colors on the palette. We are using the colors out of the tube on the canvas. And honestly, I mean, you probably agree seeing this. During this whole first session, the first layer, it was just ugly. Ugly. I had a hard time lasting throughout this session, but I knew that it can only get better from here. What you also see me do here on the first layer is already putting in some, let's say, highlights to be, because normally you wouldn't do that on the first layer, but since I'm going to need such strong light and we started with a black canvas, I've decided to already in the first layer start building up those highlights, because I had a feeling I'm never will get them bright enough if I only use the second or third session. So here you see a bit of a scan over the whole painting, what it looked like after my first session, which was probably about 2 hours long. And I went back 2 or 3 days later to continue, and I'm bringing in more bright colors. I think I now used the really saturated color photograph, but the one that wasn't blurred. What I really learned in this session was the difference between warm shadows and cool shadows. This is also something we learn at the Milan Art Institute. So warm shadows would be all those darker branches that are in the foreground, versus the cooler shadows are on the branches that recede towards the back. That way you can really bring some forward and back. Now what you see me do here with the white, honestly, I always regretted when I use pure white in my paintings, and I always overdo it. In this case, it's a little different, because I realized since the light is in the background and the dark leaves in the foreground that I needed most of my bright areas on my second layer already, so that on my last and third session I could put in the dark leaves that are going on top of the light. So this is the scan over the image, the painting, after my second session, which also took probably around 2 hours. In my opinion, the ugliness level is still quite high. This, though, is also a painting where you really have to step back. It looks so much better from further away than from really up close. So I had hope for my last session, which you see now. So here, the brights are really already built up, and I am putting the darker leaves on top of the light. I was now using the original photograph without those gaudy, super saturated colors. You can see it here. And I was really surprised that even though I had been using that super pushing your colors photo source the whole time, that I was actually now not very far away from what I needed for the original. And I guess I'm not smoothing out anything, because this is not the exercise. The exercise is about brush marks or almost pointillism to a point. Haha. And so that was actually a challenge, not to be smooth about it. Now here I'm showing you a bit of a non-sped up part of making this painting, because seeing it sped up all the time, you might be of the impression that it always goes really fast. And what you really see me do here, now I'm doing pretty fast little marks, but then sometimes I will go really slowly and deliberately. Deliberately, even if I'm going slow, I'm going deliberately. And that is something you want to always stay in control of. Here I'm putting every leaf down separately. The moment you catch yourself getting careless, you have to stop yourself, right? If you just go dot, filling an area with dots, you might want to step back and hold yourself back and ask, is this deliberate dotting, or am I just doing movements, filling canvas? You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. So there's a difference between careless and looseness. They might look quite similar because of the speed, but they are actually very different. Because if you're just loose, you still are deliberate with your movements. And the speed really varied for me in how I put down those brush marks, as you can see. So yeah, my tip for you is to really observe yourself and notice when you are shifting from loose to careless. Sometimes that happens, when you lose hope that the painting is going to turn out well, or you're just not sure you're doing it right or whatever, and then you're just going into the careless world, and that's not going to make your painting better. I assure you that. So now I'm going to speed this up again so you can see how I finished it off. So this is what my painting looked like, or looks like, after the final layer, which also took about 2 hours. Lots of color, and it certainly is a painting that you need to step away from to see it. It was a very interesting experience for me. I don't think it's a technique I'll be using a lot, but boy, you do learn a lot, and especially you learn to persevere. I didn't feel that there was any prettiness to this painting until the very end of it. So it was ugly for a long time. Have fun when you try this. Take care. Bye bye.